And we're live.
Okay, so we are on YouTube, Facebook,
Yep. And LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Does this stream? This doesn't stream to no. Hey
Hmm.
everyone, we are jumping on here. I'm just seeing if I could tag everyone. Alrighty. Okay, hey everyone, we're just jumping on here to have a conversation, to talk a little bit about the boot camp and some other upcoming um, events that we have going on. But today we wanted to talk about when it comes to our health journey. Um, it has to be, do we put it in the title? Let's see. Our health problems cannot be solved by any form of coercion, but only by agreement. So we wanted to talk about this contrast between choice and coercion, right? Because I think a lot of times in our health journey, many of us, and I've been there, a lot of it has been like gritting our teeth, feeling like we're being coerced, or feeling like we're being trying to convince ourselves of something, or people even around us, our doctors, whoever's in our space, people trying to encourage us and motivate us and tell us you have to do this and you have to eat that, and you kind of feel this sense of I'm gonna do it. It's not what I want to do, but I'm gonna do it. And you're in that space. But the real key, I think, to really getting out of that rut when it comes to our health is really to have that mindset of choice, of coming into agreement
Hmm.
that I need to be healthy, coming into agreement that I want to be healthy, that I'm willing to do the work that it takes to get healthy. It's like if you don't submit to that agreement and you're living in that coercion side, it doesn't last.
Hmm.
And that's why you'll do something for a short period of time and lose interest in the novelty of trying something new. You lose interest because you're really just forcing yourself. You haven't really made the choice.
Yeah. And I think by, just by default, when you're in that place of coercion, that you also have this deprivation mindset.
Mhm.
Like, I can't have this, or I can't have that, or I can't do this,
Mhm.
and I can't do that. Versus, the abundance thinking when you're choosing to. And that mindset shift can make all the difference in being successful with sticking with something long term and making it a way of living for you.
Yeah, or even to start. Sometimes we procrastinate and procrastinate because
Hmm.
we're dreading the the getting started. Even the getting started could be a dread. Like how many times have we put off? I remember, I don't know who we were talking to, and she was like, I'm going to do it next Monday. And then the following Monday, and it's like
It was
Mondays
next
add
Monday.
up. Yeah. And it's like, and next thing you know, you're like, I don't know what Monday I'm going to start, but it's going to be,
Yeah.
and then now you're 2 years in and you're still putting things off. And that's because, like you were saying, Gigi, is that you're not on the abundance, you're on the what am I losing as
Yeah.
opposed to what am I gaining. And you're actually running from something as opposed to running to something. When
Yeah.
you're running from something, that is night and day to I'm running to get something. And a
Hmm.
lot of times with our health journey, we have to look at it as God, I'm running to you. I'm running to abundance. I'm running to being healthy. I'm running to feeling good. I'm running to being my best self, as opposed to I'm running from having to do work. I'm running from having to give up McDonald's or whatever it is that you love, or I'm running from having to exercise. it's just it starts here. It's such a mindset shift, but it's one that you have to make if you're really going to be successful. And this is why, you know, one of the things we have with the Healthy Christian Woman Boot Camp is that it allows you to have that mindset shift. It starts to peel away from the limiting beliefs. It starts to peel away from your old way of thinking, and it gives you um, this mindset shift that you need to really go forward. And so the boot camp actually starts January 8th, guys. It's perfect for people who feel like they only could make a move in the New Year's. You know what I mean? This is perfectly designed for you because it's right in the New Year. So it goes right with New Year's resolutions. But it's going to start January 8th. It's going to be 5 days, guys. 5 days of an amazing shift. So that if you're somebody that says, you know what, I don't want to run away from my health, I want to run towards abundance, and you want to join this boot camp. It's 5 days, like I said. It's going to have nightly sessions every single night. So we are going to actually go deep into the science as to why you should be running towards health. And then we're going to open the Word of God as well and talk about why God wants you healthy and why this is something that you should choose, not something that you should be feeling like, you're handcuffed and going into some prison or something like this, but you're actually walking into freedom. When you're healthy, guys, you are actually walking into freedom. And I think a lot of us, we miss that. We are so preoccupied thinking that we're going into a jail cell and not realizing that, wait a minute, when you break free of having to be um, locked into, I can't give up this food, I can't give up that food, I'm tired, but you're already in a jail. And I think this is the misconception, is that when we're living unhealthy and we're trapped to those foods, you're already in a jail. You have just told yourself that you're going, that you're freedom, where it's the actual opposite, that when you start to move forward, you are actually coming out of that jail and going into freedom. But it takes that mindset shift to understand where you're really at. A lot of us are calling foolishness freedom. We can't give up certain foods. We're on medications. We're eating the foods that are making us sick, but we can't give them up. That is jail. That is locked
Yeah.
in, right? But
Yeah.
freedom on the other side isn't controlled by anything.
Right. Right.
Control.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up, Cersei, because I have, I was controlled by food my whole life. And then when I started to understand and appreciate what it's doing in my body, I've gotten to a place where I love eating foods that I don't like, that I know are really good for me, because it's almost a sense of, okay, food's not controlling me anymore. I'm controlling. Yeah,
Yes.
it's almost like a badge of honor to,
Mhm.
eat something that most people are grossed out by. And it's because I know how it's helping me, to prolong the quality of my life as I continue to get older,
Mm.
and that's a blessing. I mean, it is freedom. It totally is freedom. And I do
Yeah.
have a comment here
Yeah. Bring it.
from Mindy
Mindy.
here. Yeah.
Coming into the agreement is a huge mountain to climb sometimes. It is definitely a huge mountain to climb. Thank you for sharing that, Mindy. It's a huge mountain to climb, but it is an easier mountain to climb, because when you are coerced, when you're climbing a mountain regardless. You just got
Mhm.
to choose which one you're gonna climb. Are you gonna climb the mountain of the challenges that come with all of the things that we do when we live in that unhealthy space? That's a mountain. It's a
Mhm.
tough mountain too. Or are you going to climb that mountain that's going to give you rewards, sips of water along the way, and things like that. And so it's true. It is a huge mountain to climb, but I think we're climbing mountains no matter what. It's just we got to choose what mountain that we're going to
Yeah,
climb.
a mountain of
Because I think
health,
there's a mountain or a mountain of,
disease, and
the unknown. Because somebody might say, well, I'm not sick, I'm healthy, but it's still the mountain of the unknown, So,
yeah,
but
and
yeah,
yeah, and and no one really knows, like, whether they're going to get sick or not. It's just the
no,
matter of stacking the odds in your favor,
yeah,
like,
and mhm,
yeah, I mean, we know the science is pretty clear, and certain foods are destroying our bodies. I mean, that's just a fact. And people who detox from those foods feel different, and that's another thing. And that's the other thing this boot camp is really good with. It helps you to detox from toxic foods. So you start to really understand what good feels like. And then you can, I think, even more appreciate what healthy foods are doing for you and how they're serving you. And so the Healthy Christian Woman Boot Camp, we put the link. I just added the link to the description. I forgot to do that earlier, but you can use that link to sign up, and you'll get, when you sign up, a guide, a workbook, basically, that will walk you through everything that's involved. And we go live nightly for those 5 days, and you'll get recipes, a meal plan, some devotional scriptures, and each night is power packed and action packed. It's all virtual, so you don't have to physically drive somewhere and you
yeah,
know go to something, but it's actually virtual, so you can do it from the comfort of your home anywhere in the world. And there are replays that'll be available. So if you miss something, or you have to watch it during an off hour or something like that, that's totally fine. So there's homework every night, and you'll be able to stay plugged in and get engaged, and see the benefits. So many people who go through it, their eyes are open, their minds are blown, because we give you a new perspective, and that's what's different about this that other programs generally don't offer. I'm not trying to bash other programs. It's just, I know I've been to different programs, and I understand what things offer, but I like what we do because we do invite God into that health journey space,
mhm,
and we help you make that connection between your health and your faith.
mhm,
We weave in the science, the nutritional science, also the business and politics around food and why things are the way they are, um, and help you to really understand what you're dealing with. So
mhm.
if you make the choice, you can make it with eyes wide open, and go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, go ahead and sign up. Day one, we are dealing with why you need a God centered self image when it comes to your health. Day two is about breaking our addiction to food. Day three is about breaking generational patterns of poor health. Day four is the courage to take action. And then day five is your health is your wealth. So, yeah, so go ahead, follow the link, get your seat. It's only $47. Sign up now. That way you can kind of stay in the loop as we get closer to January. And you can kind of prepare your mind for that. Also, before we jump off, I don't know if you have the book right there, Gigi. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. If you haven't gotten the book, Daniel Fast, Why You Should Only Do It Once, pick up your copy. It is going to be the perfect gateway to prepare you to get your mind right as you go into the boot camp in January. It's an awesome book to do in a Bible study with your church or with your friends, or your girlfriends, or whoever. So definitely pick up your copy there. If you go to um, healthyformypurpose.com. You'll see the link to get the book, but it's also on Amazon or anywhere books are sold. So you just have to put Daniel Fast, Why You Should Only Do It Once, and it will pop up as well.
Yeah.
So, any questions, comments, guys? How do you feel about choice versus coercion? Are you being forced to eat that broccoli, or are you eating your kale with joy? Let us know what's going on over there.
eat your
And
broccoli.
you know what? It starts as a child. Something just came to me. There's always this. You got to eat your veggie. There's always this coercion around the foods that heal, and it's like I think it's because we've already set ourselves up like this is the food that is not so pleasurable and these are the foods that are, and so we've started even from a child where sometimes a lot of times it's like, okay, you're not getting your dessert unless you eat your broccoli, you're not, and it's kind of starts even from we're kids.
Well, I think, yeah, and I think because a lot of times we expose kids to those toxic foods early,
And
um,
yeah,
and so that we mess up their palates.
and so they can't, yeah.
They can't get their head around. I was listening to an old podcast um, with, I think it was a Rich Roll podcast with Brian Terry.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Brian, Bryan Terry. He's a chef. Let's see. I think he's in the San Francisco area. I'm looking him up real quick. Yeah, he's an African American vegan chef, justice activist, and author.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he was sharing a story about how he and his wife purposely um, had fed their children bitter, like
Oh
greens,
yeah, I know him.
collard
I know
greens,
right now.
broccoli, and all that.
Mhm.
And so his daughter, I don't know, she must have been maybe 6 or 7, I
Mhm.
can't remember. Um, they told her to go clean her room, and if she cleaned her room,
She'll
her
get
reward
broccoli.
would be an apple.
Yeah.
That was her reward, was an apple. And so he's telling this story about how she went came she cleaned her room and then came to him and said, Daddy, I cleaned my room, can I have that apple, please? And so he
Mhm.
gave her the apple. And so it was kind of like, when you have a kid that age who, sees the reward as an apple, you know,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
shows you that he and his wife made a very
Yeah, very
conscious
conscious effort.
choice, effort to not put those toxic foods in their
Yeah,
children's bodies
yeah,
early on. So they were trained to eat and tolerate
yeah,
bitter foods like
yeah,
kale and collard greens and whatnot. So yeah.
yeah.
So I think the issue is when
Yeah,
as a kid,
definitely.
and I grew up in that household too. So I'm
Yeah.
not I'm
I'm
not
just saying, I'm just saying it's like because we're all in this together, it starts from young because our
it
parents are
does.
listening to
Yeah.
us. Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry, I went off on that tangent, but
No, 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 but it's a good point. It's just to show you that it's embedded in us for
yeah,
many of us, who didn't have the parents of Brian giving us these, even though you had bitter, or you might have been able to eat bitter stuff as a kid, but you were also exposed to other things
all
that
right.
offset it. But yeah.
Yeah, all it takes is going to some friend's birthday party. It's game over, like
And,
no
and
matter all the hard work your parents did to try to get you to eat healthy, you go to some
yeah,
friend.
that's just it. You have to be really vigilant and yeah, yeah.
So
So, yeah. So, any comments, guys, for those of you guys who are out there?
yeah,
Go ahead and put it in. We'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this conversation? Have you joined the boot camp yet? Are you going to join? Just let us know.
yep. And before we sign off, I do want to mention we have a Thanksgiving Day meal prep cooking class,
Hmm.
and it's a special class we're offering. It's totally free,
Hmm.
and if you want to have a healthy Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
you'll want to sign up. And we'll be sending out another email, but I'm going to see if I can find the link that people can sign up right away through here. I'll just put it in the comments.
Yeah.
But it's basically, we're going to send you the menu
Hmm.
and the recipes, and we're going to make it live. There's a prep before the prep that you'll need to do, which is pretty customary with meal prep classes, hands-on meal prep classes. And you'll have your Thanksgiving dinner by the end of the class if you want to, cook with us. So let's see. So I'm going to pop the link for that in the comments here. see. All right. All right, Cersei,
Okay.
I don't think we
Right.
have anything else. So we'll see y'all later.
All
Have a
right.
good evening.